traveler, you have returned again. The fire still burns, though its embers glow softer now, no longer a raging blaze, but a steady warmth in the endless night. You have walked through trials few have faced. You have stood before the elements, braved the whispers of the haunted forest, and glimpsed the celestial realm. Now, at last, you stand before the final moment. The coronation of light. The journey had led the traveler to the threshold of destiny. The celestial crown, lost for generations, was ready to return, but only if the traveler proved worthy. This was no mere ornament of kingship. It was not a prize to be won, nor a trophy to be claimed. It was a burden, a promise, a weight upon the soul. And so, with steady breath and a heart that carried the wisdom of all they had faced, the traveler pressed forward toward the sacred temple. A great structure loomed before them, its walls not of stone, but of woven light. It stood outside of time, untouched by mortal hands. The air around it shimmered as if the very essence of the cosmos had gathered here, waiting for the moment that history would be rewritten. This was the place of kings and queens, of rulers long past and rulers yet to come. This was where the fate of the world would be decided. The traveler ascended the steps, each one feeling heavier than the last. There was no fear, only the weight of understanding. Every step carried the echoes of those who had come before. Some had succeeded, many had failed. The crown did not demand strength alone. It sought something deeper. At the heart of the temple stood the altar, and upon it, the celestial crown burned like a living star. It was fire, not gold. It was energy, not metal. It pulsed with the breath of the universe, shifting between colors unseen by mortal eyes. It did not offer itself freely. It waited, watching, judging. The traveler reached out. The moment their fingers brushed the light, the world around them shattered. Darkness, not the absence of light, but the presence of something vast, something endless. They were no longer in the temple, no longer anywhere at all. They stood within the void, where creation had begun and where it would one day end. Before them, shifting and infinite, was the last guardian of the crown. It had no fixed form, no singular presence. It was everything and nothing at once, a being woven from pure knowledge, its voice the harmony of the universe itself. You seek the crown, it said, but do you understand what it is? The traveler remained silent. You believe power is given. It is not. Power is revealed. The being lifted a hand, and suddenly the traveler saw. Visions unfolded before them, empires rising, kingdoms crumbling, rulers standing upon their thrones, only to be consumed by the weight of their own choices. The crown was not a gift. It was not glory. It was the greatest burden one could bear. A ruler does not command, the guardian whispered. A ruler serves. The visions shifted again, and the travelers saw themselves not as they were, but as they could be. They saw a kingdom bathed in golden light. They saw a kingdom swallowed by shadow. They saw peace. Oh, they saw war. They saw 1,000 futures, all resting upon a single choice. The crown does not change you, the voice murmured. It reveals you. Then came the final test. The fire of the crown leapt forward, surrounding the traveler in an unrelenting blaze. It did not burn, it did not destroy, but it consumed. It reached into their soul, unraveling every secret and every weakness, every fear. There was no hiding, no deception, no lies, only the pure, unfiltered truth of who they were. Would they stand beneath its weight, or would they crumble? The flames roared, pressing closer. The traveler did not flinch. They did not run. They did not falter. They stood within the fire and let it see them, let it know them, let it judge them. And then, silence. The fire dimmed. The test had ended. The crown, no longer an untamed blaze, settled into its true form, a radiant circlet of woven light, neither burden nor prize, but a promise. It floated before the traveler, waiting. They reached out once more. This time the flames did not resist. They placed the crown upon their head, and the universe shifted. The temple pulsed with light, the walls stretching outward, dissolving into the very fabric of the stars. The echoes of rulers long past whispered through the air, their voices neither welcoming nor warning, but acknowledging. The prophecy had been fulfilled. The crown had returned. The world changed. From the traveler, a light spread outward, cascading across the sky, touching the farthest reaches of the earth. It filled the cracks where darkness had crept. It warmed the cold places where hope had long since faded. It was not power. It was something far greater. It was renewal. And with it, the dawn of a new era began. The traveler was no longer merely a seeker, no longer just a wanderer. They were the bearer of light,